What tips, I mean, what are there tips, tricks, resources, maybe tricks isn't the right word, tips or resources that you wish you would have known, or that Raina, your wife, wishes she would have known? And we'll talk to her as well, but what do you want to share with people that they need to be thinking of? They have questions. Here's, great resources. Here's how I navigated this problem. I mean, this is a big question. So,
Well, I have to tell you, I went to SHK University, and that's the School of Hard Knocks. Through this, you know, looking back, I wish I would have helped my wife with finding her a circle of friends to talk to. I was dealing with myself, and looking back, I don't know who she was really talking to about this. I overheard her a couple times talking to her sister, but I wish I would have helped with that. I wish I would have asked my doctor, looking back now, are there any groups I could be involved in? I'd never asked. I didn't know to ask. But looking back, that's why I've shared earlier, like, talk to your doctor about how you're feeling. Is there anything you can plug into besides going to websites only? But if you don't know what websites to go to, I wish I would have asked the doctor, where are some good resources that I could glean information from, because I didn't know where to go. I'll be honest. And they may have said it. As a matter of fact, there was so much information they would give me at a lot of the appointments. I have 2 big 3-ring binders just full of info. So I got to tell y'all, there's a lot of information that's sent your way, and there's probably some stuff in there. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I flipped through the book the other day, and I'm like, man, this is some good stuff. I should have kept flipping. I wish somebody would have told me what was in the book and walked me through it a couple times during my journey. So I guess I would tell you that, like, whatever information that you've received, it may be time to pull it back out now. You've accepted your diagnosis.
Yeah.
There's probably some tips in there about, sleep, rest, depression, nutrition. It's in there a lot of times. And if it's not in there and you've watched this now, you're like, no, that's not in my binder. Talk to your doctor about it. That's something I wish I would have done now, because I was so focused on fighting this thing. There was a thing that somebody told me. It's like, sometimes you got to begin with the stick in your hand. Like, instead of looking for the next best thing, just look down, and you may already have it. So my point is, you may already have stuff that could help you now. It's time to go back and look through the stuff they gave you.
Got it. That makes sense. Anything else? Like, is there one big regret or one big surprise that looking back on this journey, you now recognize?
My biggest regret was when I was down in the dumps, I let myself stay there too long. Looking back, I wasted a lot of time thinking about being terminal, thinking about death. I wish I wouldn't have dwelt so long on that. We all know that one day, we're going to check out. And I knew that. Right now, we could be talking and one of us pull out on the street and get killed quick. We all know that life is fragile, but man, hearing the cancer word and all these stages, it was scary. Yeah. It's still scary now. And I wish that when I was down in that valley, I didn't stay there that long, is what I wish. I don't want anyone that's watching this to not hear this, and that's this. You don't have to get diagnosed with cancer to make a change. That's something that I wish, now looking back, I wish cancer wasn't my wake-up call to cherish life and do more things with my family and make more. Now I don't like to use the word memories, because that implies something else. So I'm calling them experiences now.
Yeah.
I want to go make more experiences. So I would encourage y'all, that's another, I regret prior to cancer not making more experiences, and it took cancer to make me want those experiences. And when I was so sick and I couldn't move, I literally was upset about that, because I couldn't go out with my family because I didn't want to get sick. I was already sick, or I didn't feel well. And I'm like, man, why didn't I do this stuff when I was feeling good?
Yeah.
And I would encourage you, while you're feeling good, whether you're diagnosed or not, go live life. Live life to the fullest. Every day, because we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised next year, but live life to the fullest. You don't have to live like it's your last.
It doesn't have to be fireworks. Sometimes those little things are the really important ones. Like if you have young kids sitting down and, I don't know, making a fort or coloring or going for a walk, like those are the things that accumulate, and they become sort of the threads of their, life quilt, if you will.
Oh yeah. I remember my daughter made me a headband And it was the goofiest looking headband. It had feathers on it and unicorns and all this stuff. And I'm a guy. I'm like, I can't wear this. But you know what? I put it on. And when I saw the smile on her face, I wore it the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And it was so worth it. So something little like that, playing hide and go seek, chasing the dog, making whatever, just those little things became even more precious to me. When I had to tell everybody, like, y'all go, I can't go with you. I'm too sick. I don't feel well. I literally was sitting there thinking, you dummy, you should have been doing this before. And I also looked forward to that. That also became my next prize. Like, when we beat this thing, I'm going to do everything I possibly can with my family and friends. And so you can make that one of your new focuses. You can't control a lot of things, but no matter how much I didn't want cancer in my body, it was in there. No matter how positive I was, it was in there. And I thought, why is this happening to me? Why? And I had to learn to stop asking why and be like, all right, what are we going to do?
I think, we as humans, we're sort of, it's ingrained in us to ask why. We want everything to have a cause and a reason, so we can put it in this nice little box, and now it all makes sense, and I can move on from that. And that's just not how this situation works. Focusing on why takes you down a rabbit hole that will have no positive ending, and perhaps no ending at all.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And you may never find out the reason. Is there a reason? Are we saying don't ever ask why? No, I'm saying you got to be okay with not having all the answers. And that's another reason that I wanted to start a movement, right? Was to fill in some of those gaps, because there's people that have been through the journey before, and then they're able to tell you, like right now, I got a friend that has been cancer-free for 7 years. He was my rock. His name is Don. You're going to hear him on this show. He was my rock during cancer, because when they gave him his treatment, he had to have it in the hospital for 7 days and he couldn't leave. And what was important to him was getting a hospital room with a window. It was all he wanted. And when I was going through my journey, I leaned on Don and his wife, Diane, a lot to ask him, like, hey, they told me I'm going through this. Do you guys mind helping me?
Yeah.
And then they would make recommendations like, hey, ask your doctor about this kind of medicine. It helped him with nausea. Ask them about this. And so I would also tell you, if you have someone that you have the privilege of knowing that's been there, done that, they might be someone you recruit into your circle, because that's what helped me as well. Yeah, I got a lot of people to pay credit to. This was a team effort. To battle, just like today. We put together a team for the foundation, and here's why. What if I get sick and that's it? I don't want this to stop. So if you're watching this right now and you're a survivor, you're a caregiver, you can join our team, volunteer, help get this message out, help this be a resource. You might know of stuff in your community right now. Maybe you're in Dallas, maybe you're in Boston, maybe you're in Mobile, Alabama, wherever you're at. You're like, man, I've got a great organization I'm with. Well, let us know about it, because we would like to let other people know as well. And that's how you find out about stuff. And we want this thing to have staying power and not be a bottle rocket. We want this to be here to fill in some of the gaps that are out there, and then also to be a connector of all those cool resources that are out there that, to be honest, I don't know of them all yet, and I'm trying to find them. And we've met some cool people at these 5Ks that are doing different foundations, and their reasons for starting them are so amazing. And you're like, man, you guys are real warriors. And they're like, well, I don't want anyone to go through what we went through, so we started the foundation. I'm like, makes sense to me. How can we help? So
yeah. I mean, you're like not only creating your own sort of resources and stories, but curating resources from, I mean, it's out there, but it's all, it's one's down this path and one's down this path, and this is over here. And that's, it's hard to get them all in front of you and then parse through them.
I tell you, you're absolutely right. It's like alphabet soup. I have to tell you, one other mission of the foundation is having a resource for medical staff. There are some amazing people in these facilities. And there's also other people that they don't appear to be amazing because they've kind of checked out. But if you think about it, put yourself in their shoes. They have to detach themselves a little bit, or man, they would just constantly be depressed.
Yeah.
So you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. If someone's not totally friendly to you, they may have just had one of their best friends that was a patient just pass, and now they got to greet you.
Yeah.
And you might be thinking, well, it's their job. They need to be happy all the time. I will tell you another reason we formed this is I give them an outlet as well. Because this is a tough job. You hear about first responders and everybody rallies behind first responders because their job is tough. And we have people on the front line that they're taking people's blood, they're greeting people, they're mopping the floors, they're giving scans, they're reading test results, they're doing surgery, they're cleaning up after surgery, and it's grim for them. And, if you're one of those people, we appreciate what you're doing. If you got a family member that does this stuff, we appreciate what you're doing. Know that this channel, this foundation is designed for you as well. I can't wait for y'all to meet my oncologist. He's amazing. He's going to come on here. My dermatologist, we're going to have them share. It's just, we've got some really cool folks. And I'll give you the reason I'm telling you this. I got sick going on a trip to speak about this journey. And I went to this little CVS Walgreens clinic, right? And there was a lady in there that she was the tech that would take my blood and check me in and wait and all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, I didn't know you worked here. And she had quit the job at the cancer place because it was so tough on her. And I go, I just got to let you know you helped me. I'm alive because of you. And her name is Brandy. And she was crying. She brought in the other doctor, and her dad was going through cancer, and she had her talk to me about my journey for this lady and her dad. And if you think that your life has no purpose, if you're wondering why you got cancer, maybe it's to help other people as well. I went there because I thought I had the flu or COVID, and it turned out I had none of that. I had some kind of sinus thing, but I feel like I was there that day to see Brandy and show her that her work mattered.
Yeah.
And then this physician, and I'm getting so many, I call them confirmations. If you just open your eyes and also your ears and listen, you'll hear confirmations throughout the day of like, you're on the right track. Keep pushing. You may zig right. You may go backwards. When I heard I was stage 4, I thought, oh, we're going backwards. We're back now to the 20-yard line. We were on the 50. Not good. It's okay. The journey's not always straight. That's for sure.
Let me ask you, I'm going to ask one more question, unless there's some additional things you want to share. And I don't know if this is the right word to use, or maybe it's too soon, but are there elements of this experience that you would say are a blessing?
Yes. Okay. No, great question. So I never thought I would say these words, but I'm glad I got cancer. It made me better. I was very thankful that it was me that got it and not any of my family. I do know that. I said that, but I never thought I would say I was glad I got it. And I have to tell you why. One of the blessings that have come out of it is I'm a new person now. I actually look at life way different. The things that used to make me, when I did get upset, because I tried to not get upset too fast, but anyone that tells you never get upset, they're liars, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Stuff that I used to have a short fuse for, I consciously have now made it longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's made me experience more joy. And then, I'm just so glad to be alive. It's a blessing. I don't want you to experience the cancer so you know what I'm talking about. But if you reach down deep, there's something amazing that's happened in your life that maybe you just haven't celebrated. Like graduating school, getting a job, getting a raise, having a child, being married, staying married, an anniversary, having a girlfriend, boyfriend. I mean, find something that you're grateful for. And I'm grateful for the cancer. It changed me. Now, if I had a colostomy bag, would I be grateful? Well, I have to tell you this. I met a guy, and you'll get to meet him as well. He has a colostomy bag. He's an owner of a bike shop. And you know what he told me? He goes, it's not so bad, man. He goes, when you get yours, I'll help you. He goes, I was worried about it too. And man, I've had this, man. I feel better. I no longer have all these other problems that I had before the colostomy bag. I'm just so grateful to be alive. And this thing in my mind was such a terrible thing. And so I have to tell you, that guy has joy and he has a colostomy bag. I also met another guy that had his entire colon removed and they had to reset him up on the inside. And that guy is 20 years cancer free. He lifted up his shirt, proud, showing me all the scars.
Boy.
And it was what I needed at that moment because I was so bummed out that they were going to take my bum, literally. And it was what I needed. So I'm so thankful for warriors that have gone through this before me because they helped me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of blessings that come out of battling through this.